Hello everybody, my name is David Waldron and I am joined today by Raphael and Dave from Aerosoft Development Group. Just a reminder for those of you watching live on the Twitch chat, you can go ahead and submit your questions during the stream, and at the end we're going to go ahead and collect them and we're going to answer them as well. So without further ado, how have you guys been at Expo so far? What's the kind of reception been like?
Oh, we are doing good. Had a good flight over from Germany. So I had a good flight. He is from the US. Flight was good.
Yeah.
10 hours, but 10 hours
as
sitting
good
in
as
an
it could
economy
be.
class. So it was good. Yeah. And the show here, it's awesome, really.
Yeah, the atmosphere is great. So, for those who may not be familiar with you guys, could you briefly explain who Aerosoft is, and then could you kind of explain what you guys do within Aerosoft?
Yeah, Aerosoft is one of the biggest publisher in simulation games, and yeah, we are in that business since now nearly 30 years. And yeah, I'm Raphael. I'm a software developer at Aerosoft, and also responsible for product management, especially for hardware.
And a great guy, too.
Thanks.
He's a wonderful guy to work with, he really is. I'm Dave Hodges. I've been in the flight sim world for, 36 years from the very, very beginning. And, one of the things I love about events like this is I get to see people that I've known for years, but we get to see each other face to face again. And so it's always a reunion. And I can't thank Evan and Phil enough for putting these events together like they do. It's just fantastic. And otherwise, I'd have to talk to these guys on the phone, and to see them face to face is really wonderful. So at Aerosoft, I've been with Aerosoft now for about 8 years, but I've just recently taken on the position of being the representative in the U.S. So if it's Aerosoft in U.S., that's I'm kind of your guy. And so I'm very happy to be part of such a wonderful company.
Right, so I want to congratulate you guys on announcing 2 new mega airports, both Dublin and Zurich. Why did you choose now to announce a new Dublin? What was particular about now?
It was just on our list, so we are currently working also on Geneva. We hopefully can release it in the next few weeks. And Dublin was on our list for quite a few, for a year now.
Yeah, sure.
And now we had time for it. And we got some new developers in our office. And
yeah, one of the, just add to that, so the developer who did the scenery for us, the Dublin scenery for us before, was ready to do an update to that scenery. And so we looked at everything and we decided to do that development in-house. So the developer that approached us about it said, okay, well, that's fine if you're going to do it in-house, and we're going to do it anyway. But so it had already been on the table with Aerosoft. And I know I've seen some forum posts where somebody said, you guys decided to do this after it was, and not true at all. It had been in our timetable for some time.
I imagine development's quite slow in that regard, so you get that a lot of like, oh, you copied this person, or oh, you copied that person. Yeah. So speaking of the difference between in-house and third-party developers, what's Aerosoft's process behind finding developers and existing teams to help create Aerosoft sceneries?
so finding teams is, depends on the developer. Some developers are coming to us and say, come, I want to make this airport. And we say, yeah, okay, come on, do it. And we will help you. And sometimes we take a look into other forums, like, for example, FS Developer. And when we see a good guy there, then we will ask him and say, do you like to make a scenery for us? Or
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so some of our development happens in-house, as you know. Other development is going to be a collaboration between us and another third-party developer. So it really just it depends on just a very few variables to determine whether or not that development is done in-house or in concert with a third-party developer.
So the other big project here today from you guys is, of course, the A330 project for Prepared. What is it like to finally kind of have it on display to customers after this amount of development time that you guys have had?
Well, actually, we don't have it on display today, and we're still we have been working slowly on the A330 as time allows, but our real focus has been on the A318 through A321. Now, initially we really believed that a lot of the code that we used in the 32-bit version of our Airbus was going to be mostly compatible with the 64-bit version. Didn't turn out that way for a variety of different reasons, some of which, well, most of which had nothing to do with us or how we do things. So our A318 through 21 Pro development has taken longer than we had anticipated. In fact, it's taken a lot longer, and anybody who's done software development will tell you that this is fairly routine. Every single developer in flight sim and every single software developer really on the world has this same thing. So I did technical program management for the U.S. Navy for a great many years, and we're working multi-billion-dollar contracts, software and hardware, and it really says something when you see the exact same delays or issues and timelines that get distorted and changed. Whether it's a multi-billion-dollar program or if it's a multi-thousand-dollar program, it's the problems are the same, and we all have to deal with those.
Right, so it's a bit to kind of build on that. How do you guys, because the community has been very vocal about with the A330's development, they've been watching it very closely. They've been very sure to give their feedback on it thus far. So yeah, so how do you guys kind of internalize that feedback, and how do you guys take that in? How does that affect your development process?
Sure. Well, first let me say, I had a few choices of where to hang my hat once I retired from my position with DoD, and Aerosoft was always the front runner, and it's because of how that special relationship that Aerosoft has with our customers. And when the perception is that something's been delayed, people are very vocal about it. And some people might think that's a negative. I don't. I think that's a positive. People are expressing their desire for a product that we're making, and I take that feedback as it comes, and I think of it as a positive. Now, the A330, we had all hoped that it would have been out by now, but due to the issues that we had with the A318 through 21, it got delayed because the same people are working on both projects. What does that mean? Well, ironing out the bugs, since a lot of these systems are cross-compatible between the 18 and through 21 and then the A330, we're ironing out these issues so that we don't have them, or we have fewer of them with the A330. And we haven't talked a lot about it even on our website, but we also have connected flight deck that we've been working, and that is a game changer, man. That is just phenomenal. So proprietary server-based connected flight deck is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most exciting things that Aerosoft has coming out, along with the A330. So stay tuned on that. We already have guys that are using it and having a lot of fun doing it. It's about 80% done right now. Looking for it to be done sometime this year, later this year, and I think it would be an exciting time for flight sim.
So this next kind of question is a bit theoretical, obviously, because development timelines are very long. So thinking, more wishful thinking and thinking, more in the very, very long term. What other aircraft projects are Aerosoft thinking about? Are you thinking about maybe branching off from Airbus to pursue other brands in the future, other makes, or even just other Airbus family products?
So yes, we have lots of plans and ideas, but there's no decision right now because we are mainly focusing on the Airbus right now to get it finished, to get it perfect. And yes, the decision will be made. So we will make a decision in the future, but not yet.
We're always looking at different things. some things never get off the drawing board, and some do. Some, I was talking with other developers here this morning, long-term friends of mine, and they do the same thing. It's amazing how many projects actually get started in flight sim that never really see the light of day. Yeah, but we're always looking. We're constant. I'm looking at 3 different aircraft right now, and will any of them happen? I don't know. There's a lot. One thing I think that most people don't appreciate when it comes to flight sim development are the costs behind that development. And these products are expensive to produce, and so these products they have to be. You have to have the data to create these things, and that's for aircraft, and sometimes even an airport, especially with heightened security today. We just don't get the data that we need in order to make them. So we may want to make, say, an A350. We would love to do that, but can we get that data in a legal way? That's the important thing. So yeah, but we're looking at this stuff all the time. Never stop looking.
And to kind of follow up on, looking at stuff, are you thinking about in the future maybe either porting some of your aircraft to XPlane or developing all new aircraft for the XPlane platform?
Yeah, we are thinking about that. We also did some prototypes. But it's not a project right now, so nothing is announced right now. We are thinking about that. We want to make it. We want to make XPlane aircraft because it's interesting, especially for me, as I nearly only fly in XPlane.
So wonderful platform, XPlane 11.
It is.
XPlane 11 has really shown us some wonderful, wonderful things. Austin and his team, of course, are fantastic, and we're happy to enjoy a tremendous relationship with these guys. Going back just a few years ago, there were a lot of people, including me, wondering what the future of flight sim really held. Were we going to be stuck with FSX, and that was it, right? And now look at this. We've got 2 primary sims, Laminar Research's XPlane 11 and Lockheed Martin's Prepared, both incredible platforms. And then there's AFS2, also that seems to be working its way up, but it's got some really neat things in it as well. So I just think it's a wonderful time to be a flight simmer, and it's a wonderful time for flight sim itself. We have gone from really having one foot in the grave to being in the clouds again, so I think it's wonderful.
So what are your most important factors in your development and in your prototypes and whatnots? What are the factors that you consider most heavily to ensure that you release a product that is, like Aerosoft quality? What are your quality kind of tenets when you make your products?
First of all, quality, really. So the quality has to be right. Yeah. Popularity.
Sure.
It needs to be popular. So.
Yeah, that's the 2 things. I mean, if Aerosoft was to lose money on one of our products, that's going to hinder our ability to produce other products in the future, right? So let's just face it. With development costs getting greater and greater every day, we have worked very, very hard to keep our costs low. I'll give you an example. There are a lot of people who thought that we should be charging more for our Airbus Pro series. And yeah, there's still a few remaining issues with the product right now. We've got about 80% of the managed speed issue corrected. And to be honest with you, as far as I know, there's only 2 people that I personally know or know of that are having any kind of issues with that. And we're working to get that corrected. Because if even one person has an issue with a product of ours, we're interested. We want to resolve that. But I think the price right now for the Airbus Pro, say the A318 or 19, or the 320 or 321 is about $60 US. Well, for everything that aircraft does, the quality of that aircraft, that's absolutely an amazing price. We're seeing other aircraft of the same quality sell for over twice that amount, sometimes 3 times that amount. So I think that our focus on having our products affordable for the widest possible audience
has really showed that it works, and I think flight simmers really appreciate that.
So you hit on a little bit earlier talking about the platforms that you develop for and the platforms that you're interested in. Given that Aerosoft has a very wide reach in a lot of platforms and a lot of games and whatnot, have you ever considered making your entirely own flight simulator? I know you guys did a bit of a foray with the Airbus Professional, and there was a project where that was the plane in the simulator, and you can buy that simulator.
Well, let me say that, so back when the community approached Microsoft about purchasing the rights for ESP, which is what gave birth to FSX and eventually Prepared and Flight. So we did make a bid on that along with PMDG and another developer, and Dovetail Games won out. So they won out, and that really, to do a new sim at this point, I mean, take a look at the development on XPlane. I mean, it has been many, many, many years to get them to the point where they are right now. It's a huge, huge task, and I would say responsibility to do a flight sim. I don't know that something that I would ever recommend to the boss that we look at doing, but I can tell you this: we are in the final stages of a standalone flight sim called World of Aircraft, and it's a glider simulator, and it has now it only has 2 airports. It's got very, very excellent terrain, and it's got 20 gliders. And although gliders are more popular in Europe than they are here in the States, but you wouldn't believe it. We've had 3 people come by our booth today asking about gliders here from the States, so it kind of like, whoa. But that is really its own sim. But as far as a full-blown flight sim, I don't think that's in the cards.
So what's been your favorite part, besides from your own booth, of Expo so far?
Well,
to see.
Ooh. Yeah, what Dave said earlier, so to meet all the people here, really, face to face, that's awesome.
Yeah, my arm is already sore, truly, from having so many people come by the booth and shake hands and get to, as you said, put faces to the names of these people that we've communicated with online for many, many years, and now we actually get to see them. That's exciting, as well as seeing our friends from years past, and so it's a great thing. I'm going to keep coming, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So we hope to see you again, actually, and more in future expos. I think that's all the time we've got for today. For those of you watching at home, please visit aerosoft.com. They make great sceneries, aircraft, and total flight sim solutions. You can check them out at aerosoft.com. And thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thank you, David.
We do.